I'm starting a 30-day challenge, 30 days of discipline, 30 days of consistency to get back on track with my nutrition, my gut health, my fitness, my exercise, my workouts, and my healthy habits. Let's get into it. Now, I want to make this disclaimer that this 30-day challenge isn't a quick fix to lose 30 pounds in 30 days or 20 pounds in 30 days. It really is to establish healthy habits and healthy routines if you think you've fallen off of track. Now, I know there are a lot of people who don't like these challenges, 2-week challenges, 30-day challenges, and I understand where they're coming from, because a lot of times when persons do these challenges, after the challenge finished, they get back into old habits and old routines and unhealthy habits. But I personally like them. You all know that I lost 40 pounds in 4 months last year, and I'm currently doing a fat loss journey, at least a series. I think by now I would have uploaded maybe about 6 to 7 episodes in that series, so y'all can maybe check the description to keep up with me with that. But I have been on this journey for a while. I have been up and down with my weight loss. I lose weight sometimes, I put it back on. I lose weight sometimes, I put it back on. But lately I realized that yes, I've generally been consistent. Should I really say that? I have not been consistent, because consistency is consistently. So I have fallen off track a little bit. So I'm using these 30 days just to help me get back focused and stay productive and disciplined with my healthy habits and routines. However, if it is that you know you have not have a baseline of establishing healthy habits and routines, maybe don't try to do any kind of quick fixes or 30-day challenges. Now, if you really think that these 30 days you are ready, you're mentally ready, and you think this is the catalyst to really help you on your weight loss journey, to change your lifestyle, then go ahead and do it. Now, one of the first things that I really have to focus a lot more on is getting my 7 to 9 hours of sleep. There are some days I do well, and of course some days I fall off. So for these 30 days, I really want to try my very best to get good quality sleep. You all know I mention a lot in my videos about how important sleep is for your health, how important sleep is on your weight loss journey to help you to lose your belly fat. If it is that you are trying to lose weight, you need to make sure that you're getting good quality sleep. Of course, reducing your stress, because having less sleep and having increased stress will increase your cortisol levels, which obviously will affect how it is you lose weight, how it is you lose fat. You need sleep to make sure that your body and your cells are regenerated, rejuvenated, you're rested, you're recovered. Because when it is you don't get good quality sleep, or if it is that you have high stress levels, you have elevated levels of your ghrelin hormone, you have elevated levels of cortisol, like I mentioned before. With your ghrelin, it makes you feel so much hungrier, and your leptin, which is a satiety hormone, decreases, so you don't get as full or satiated, and the cravings that you get are really high when it is you don't get good quality sleep. And you also tend to crave the sugary foods, the highly processed foods, the ultra processed foods, and more than likely you will overeat and not get the weight loss results that you want. The other habit that I want to make sure and focus a lot for these 30 days is drinking about 100 ounces of water a day. I try to stick between 80 to 100, because drinking a gallon of water a day is just way too much for me. I know a lot of people talk about drinking a gallon of water, but I am just way too short for that. And even if there are some persons who are short like me, I'm 4 feet 11, my activity level isn't that strenuous. I know some people who are very similar in my height, but they still sometimes drink a lot more water. If it is they do a lot of strenuous activity, or they exercise a lot more, they strength train a lot more. But for me, drinking roughly 100 ounces, you know what, I think I will stick to 100 ounces, because I would admit that yes, even though I have fallen off a little bit with some of my habits and routines, I actually have been doing a lot more strength training and resistance training and moving my body more. So I think 100 ounces is really good for me. Some persons talk about making sure that you have electrolytes every single day. I personally don't think that you need to spend a lot of money on expensive electrolytes, or even if they're not expensive, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think you could try putting some pink Himalayan salt in your water, which I don't like that taste. I just put salt on my mouth, and I don't even do this all the time. I have my full body composition smart scale to help me to see different readings, so it actually helps me to see how hydrated I am. And for the most part, the salt that I get and the electrolytes that I get from just my normal eating of my breakfast, lunch, dinner, and whatever I cook throughout the day or throughout the week, that helps me to stay hydrated. But if it is that you think you're not as hydrated as you need to be, maybe just try some pink Himalayan salt, put it in your water, or maybe even try some Celtic salt. But I think a lot of people hype up those expensive electrolytes, and I think a lot of people don't really need it. But anyway, just make sure that you're staying hydrated throughout your day, because that really does help you out on your weight loss journey. Now, of course, I have to talk about protein when it comes to my weight loss journey, and specifically losing fat, because protein is so important with keeping you feeling fuller for longer, keeping you satiated. I try my best to have around 120 grams of protein, well, at least 100 to 120, because truth be told, I tend to get closer to 100, which is not bad. You want to make sure that you have at least 1 gram of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. I really do want to get closer to 120 for this challenge and try to keep up with it, because lately I've been getting closer to 100, and yes, that's good, but especially since I am focusing a lot more on my strength training and resistance training and trying to be a lot more consistent with that, I want to up my protein, not just to maintain my muscle, but actually to build muscle and help me to get a lot leaner as I lose my body fat, which again, my series, you all can keep up with that. I will definitely link it below. Did I even mention it earlier? I will link I would link that series below, so you all can see how things are progressing with me with that. But make sure that you're sticking to like a high protein diet. I know it may sound a bit annoying because so many people mention it in their videos, but at the end of the day, it's really important because it really does help you out on your weight loss journey. I try to get around 30 to 40 grams of protein in my main meal, so for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then for my snack I maybe have a little protein there as well. I love for my breakfast, I have my boiled eggs, I have my scrambled eggs, sometimes I will have sardines for breakfast, and of course for lunch and dinner you have chicken, I have my ground turkey, I have my salmon, I have shrimp, all the things. But whatever it is you like eating, whatever it is you like drinking, and I mentioned drinking because obviously you have your protein shakes. I love doing my smoothies, so I add my Greek yogurt, I have my Greek, and I'm going to say Greek bowls, I have my yogurt bowls with my Greek yogurt. I put my blueberries, strawberries, bananas, all of that. Just find very creative ways where you can get your protein intake in. I always say try your best to stick to things that you love to eat. Just because you see everybody eating something on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, it does not mean that you have to eat it if you don't like it, because you need to be able to stick with this for the long term, not just a 2 week, not just a 30 days. Do things that you enjoy, do things that you like. So whether the things that you're eating, the things that you're drinking, the exercises that you're doing, make sure you stick with things that you like. I know a lot of people don't like certain vegetables, and that is something when it comes to your weight loss. Make sure that you're eating a lot of foods that is high in fiber, because just like protein, that also helps to keep you fuller for longer as well. So my camera just cut off. I think the last thing I was mentioning was fiber and how important it is for your gut health. When it is you eat even like the berries, your strawberries, your blueberries, or different fruits, they are high in fiber, they are high in antioxidants but they are high in antioxidants, so that obviously helps you out with your gut, your digestive system, your immune system. Make sure that you're eating all the different vegetables, your broccoli, your spinach, your kale. Eat the things that you like. Those are the things that I like as well. Yo, I'm sorry if it's not rain in my videos, in my background, it's construction. I apologize for all the extra noise, but yes, make sure that you're getting your fiber in, your fruits and your vegetables. They have probiotics, they have prebiotics. Of course, I would always say make sure that you're getting your sauerkraut or your kimchi, making sure you're drinking your kombucha, because those are also helpful in getting a lot of probiotics and prebiotics for your gut health and for your digestion, which is actually really important, not just for your health but also for weight loss as well. And as I mentioned before about increasing my protein intake as I'm on this weight loss journey, it's also very important because I have been focusing a lot more on my strength training and resistance training. Now, every time I kind of fall off track, this is usually the first thing to go. Because I am at a stage now where, yes, I know the importance of strength training and resistance training and building muscle, but it's something that I don't like doing. No, I've never regretted a workout. I know people say that as a term and a phrase, but I seriously have never regretted a workout. During the workout, I am tired, I'm annoyed, I don't want to lift these heavy weights, I don't want to do this exercise, but after I do it, I was like, okay, yeah, I did that. And I feel so proud of myself that I actually showed up and I did it, because at the end of the day, when it comes to your weight loss journey and your fitness journey and your health journey, your motivation will fade, you will feel tired, you won't feel like doing it, but you actually just have to be disciplined and stay consistent. That is how you see results. So I'm trying my best to stick to 3 days a week for this 30 days of strength training and resistance training. There were points in time where I did it for like 4 days, sometimes 5 days, but I'm kind of reeling it back a little bit because I want to do something that I know I can sustain. If I can sustain 3 days a week and do it consistently for some time, then I will slowly increase to a 4th day and a 5th day. I think trying to push for more days and not really checking to see how well it works with my schedule kind of threw me off. And as much as I talk about not trying to have the all or nothing mindset, that's exactly what happened. When I wasn't achieving the 4 or 5 days, I just totally stopped. No, it wasn't for a long time that I stopped, but I had to tell myself, okay, Rian, even if it is that you only do 2 days sometime or 3 days sometime, stay consistent with that. Something is always better than nothing, but make sure that you're doing strength training and resistance training. It is so important to increase your BMR, increase your basal metabolic rate. That helps you to burn calories and to burn fat even while you're at rest. So make sure and focus on strength and resistance training. Another thing that I also want you to be very mindful of, and it is so important when it comes to being healthy and losing weight, is increasing your step count or even just your total daily movement. Again, 10,000 steps is not absolutely necessary. However, it is actually very easy to get 10,000 steps. That's only about 1,000 steps to make in 10 minutes. When it comes to eating your meals, an easy thing to do, and what is actually suggested, is walking around 10 to 15 or even 20 minutes after your meals, because it will help with your digestion, and it will also help you to increase your step count as well. If it is that you walk maybe around 4,000 or 5,000 steps, you know you live a very sedentary lifestyle, don't try next week to aim to 10,000. What you can do is just increase it by 500, and then another week increase by another 500. If it is that you know you're on your phone a lot, you're on social media a lot, and you're scrolling, walk while you scroll, walk while it is you're listening to a podcast, walk while it is you're listening or watching YouTube videos, walk while it is you're listening to music. There are so many things that you can do to actually get creative when it is you're walking, and before you know it, you will be very close to 10,000 steps a day. Now, if it is that you make around 8,000 or 9,000, that is actually really good, because you actually get the majority of benefits when it is you walk closer to 8,000 to 9,000 steps. But if you can get close to 10,000, fine. I must admit, there are times where I walk 10,000, 12,000, sometimes 15,000 steps a day, and on those days I mean, it's a leisurely walk. You don't have to do anything too strenuous. It's easy on your bones, it's easy on your joints. You don't have to go to the gym. Obviously, walking outside will help out a lot in terms of being in nature. But if it is that you have a treadmill at home or a walking pad at home, just do some, I was not going to say edit videos because because that's what I do sometimes. If I'm editing, I just walk when I'm editing, walk when I'm doing videos. But whatever it is you have to do, even if it's just entertainment, you're listening to music, you're enjoying YouTube, you're enjoying a podcast, whatever it is, get a little 10-15 minutes, because you can actually get a couple thousand steps within that time. Obviously, you're walking at a relatively good pace. But yeah, make sure you're getting your steps in. Make sure that you're doing your cardio, because it's good for your cardiovascular health. Not just to say, oh, I'm walking and I'm getting these steps. Make sure that you try to stick within your zone 2, because that's where you burn a lot of your belly fat as well. Now, I will say try your best to do exercises and movements that you actually like. Now, when it comes to actually having a particular physique, you may have to do certain exercises to work out certain muscle groups to look lean in a certain way, and you may have to do exercises that you may not really enjoy in order to see the results that you want. But for the most part, make sure that if it is that you are doing this challenge, let me know if you want to do this 30-day challenge with me. Do things that are sustainable, do things that you can keep up with, not just for 30 days but for a lifetime. I was gonna say days after, but literally for a lifetime, because you want to be realistic and you want to be sustainable, so that you can do things to feel good and to become the healthiest and best version of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.